I'm a van lifer now, so I suppose I better act like one. Welcome to my humble abode, taking guesses as to where on earth you think I am right now. Good luck. Don't sweat your titties, man. I will be explaining why on earth I'm in a van very soon in a video. However, this video, we're talking about things I no longer buy as a millionaire. I've spoken on this channel a little bit before that I became a self-made millionaire by the age of 30, which was almost 3 years ago. And whatever images that brings up in your mind of being a millionaire, you know, the bling bling lifestyle, being able to buy whatever it is that you want. It is not exactly that, because being a millionaire is so much about being a caretaker of money and learning to save and invest it and make it grow for you rather than just learning how to earn it. So in this video, I'll be covering off the things that I no longer buy as a millionaire, which I think is very relevant to people also that are not millionaires yet and they are on the track to becoming so. So I'll be sharing this knowledge. Also, if you'd like to get weekly lessons on finance and freedom, we have an epic newsletter that I recommend you sign up to. It is pretty awesome. You'll get so much insight there to propel your journey forward of financial freedom. With that all out of the way, let's get into the video. Low nutritional food. I know, this sounds so boring and I get in so much trouble all the time. Like, oh, your lifestyle is so boring and your food blah, 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 blah. Right? I get it. However, if it's bad food, it honestly is like putting really bad fuel into your car. It's not going to run very properly. And for me, my headspace and my emotions are the most important thing because they help me to produce the best results in my business, in my life. And so if I sacrifice this in my own life, and if I give in to the very much delicious food that is available on our market, it's so easy and so tempting, but it's just going to mess with me. And the more I engage in that world and eat that really crappy stuff, the more I become addicted to it because it's all addictive substances. So I opt to eat highly nutritional foods, and that means organic as much as possible. So many vegetables, basically food that looks like food. If it looks like real food that you would see in the garden and you're like, that's food, or out in nature, that's food to me. The rest is processed and I don't buy into that. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, oh, so nice, you can buy organic, Sorrel. How great of you. Yeah, well, I am in a community right now where people grow all their food in their tiny backyards. It's awesome. So there are possibilities as well, and it doesn't cost them lots because seeds, they're not that expensive. Also, I'm not actually cooking anything, I just thought it would be appropriate. I once heard someone extremely fashionable say that latest trends is not being fashionable, it is a cop-out. And when I heard that, it was like this sigh of relief, because I was like, you know, if I think about it, if I think of someone fashionable, it is someone that really cultivates their own unique style. Whereas if you are trying to follow the trends, it looks like, yeah, you're up to date, but it's also a very awkward situation because in a few months, if you don't buy the latest thing, you're out of date and it can be embarrassing. And so marketing companies try to manipulate you to make you feel bad about yourself and not worthy enough if you don't buy the latest thing. So for me, like the ultimate way to tell those big companies, marketing companies to piss off is to not buy latest fashion and cultivate my own unique style. Also, it makes me feel a little bit more unique and special. And because I love secondhand shopping and I love to buy quality pieces, it means that these pieces last for so much longer. And I don't have to constantly be shopping, which is draining to me. Some people love it, but it's draining. And I'd rather find something so unique and then maybe repair it. I repair a lot of my clothes that I love, like this jumpsuit that I'm wearing. It's gonna be with me for the entire life that I have. We live in a disposable society as well. We've been taught that it's normal to buy a t-shirt and throw it out after a short period of time because that's just how it is. It's cheaper to buy something new than repair it, and that's just so twisted. And you look like everybody else, so you might as well try to find very unique pieces, and then everybody's always going to comment on it, and it's fun, and it's probably going to cost you less than constantly having to buy the latest and latest trends. I have the same clothes that I've had for 5-10 years because I learned how to identify awesome clothes that last forever. And same thing with furniture. I love secondhand shopping to fill my houses because you find the best stuff that they just simply don't make anymore, especially if you go to the mainstream shops like IKEA or whatnot. It's like searching for gold. It's really fun. So latest trends, a big no-no for me. For this one, I think you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Eating out is really boring. I did it. I tried this thing because, you know, when you live in a city and you made the money, you can afford it. I was like, woo, let's go eat out all the time. And I did it. And then one time I was sitting out eating and drinking and I was like, holy shit, this is so boring. It just gets overrated really, really fast, and you don't think it will, but it does. So even if you're sitting there thinking, oh, it would be really nice to eat out every now and again, that's how I was as well before I became a millionaire. I would very rarely eat out, and then I started doing it, and within weeks, months, I was like, oh wow, this is not for me. Now, I see why it becomes a thing that people default to, because if you're a city dweller, people are so disconnected from nature these days that whenever you're thinking of catching up with someone, you're like, hey, let's go have a drink, have some food, have breakfast together, have lunch together. And it's just the default. But if you explore different options, your life will become a little bit more interesting anyway, and your friends will start thinking of you as a unique social creature. So if you suggest things like, hey, let's go for a hike, let's go to the beach, let's have a picnic at the beach, it's just so much more interesting. And this is where memories are created. There are only that many restaurants you can go to before you realize it is the same thing. And yes, it's so fun, and social settings sometimes to eat out for special occasions can be really fun. But I also really love not eating out so much because I love the skill of cooking now. Finally, when in my older age, I love knowing what's in my food. And when you put the love into it, that you've made it yourself, it just tastes that much better. According to an article on Inc., millennials like me are much less likely to cook at home and are more likely to eat out, and usually spend more when they eat out than their parents' and grandparents' generation did. By eating out less frequently, it becomes more of a special occasion and like a little treat instead of just the same monotonous thing, in my personal opinion. And at the same time, it gets to save you a lot of money because gosh, eating out is expensive. Toys. Now I'm talking about toys here that you associate with people that are rich. So jet skis, boats, camper vans. Even this camper van here, I actually hired it for 43 days via a service called Camplify, because they give you full insurance and the person that lives in their van full time is currently overseas. So they get to benefit from it, which is just supporting community. And having this shared economy is actually very fun because I'd rather have this van for a period of time that I'm going to use it and then give it back rather than it sitting in my backyard for no particular reason. I would rather invest the money, and I get so much more excited by the prospect of my money still continuing to grow rather than buying assets that depreciate all the time, such as brand new cars galore or camper vans. So another thing that a lot of people associate with being a millionaire is having gigantic houses. And that's cool and all, but I've tried that. So this is coming from experience. If you have watched this channel before, you know that I bought a house in 2019, December, for $250,000 roughly. It was a bargain because the person that sold it to us was retired and rich. So they just wanted to give the house to someone that was really awesome. And so it landed in our hands, which is a blessing. But it's a 4-bedroom home. It's so big. It's massive, and the maintenance costs are always adding up, and you know, you want to upgrade your house, so it keeps adding up. It's just endless. I personally cringe when I see millionaires with giant houses because to me that just signifies a headache. I'd rather have a small space and then have the outside as my backyard. This is my preference. Now, of course, if you have a giant family that maybe is always visiting, or you are raising a giant family, this kind of does justify it to a degree, but the excess space in homes, that means you're just confined to a home, and you could just explore options of going outside to have your needs fulfilled. If you don't have a giant backyard with your giant house, you could just go to the beach more often. So the house ends up owning you rather than you owning it, and it's just helping your lifestyle. So I do think that big houses are a burden, and I honestly think that, you know, our generations are learning that big houses were just a lie and a myth, and they actually bog you down. So that's pretty cool to see. More and more people opting for smaller spaces. I love it. Another thing that I don't like to do as a millionaire is put my cash in a bank account and hope that it's going to earn me interest. Most legacy banks pay terrible interest on cash deposits. Oftentimes it's less than 1%. So essentially your savings isn't earning you hardly anything at all. I prefer to keep my savings in BlockFi, where I can earn up to 9% per annum on cash deposits. So feel free to check out the link in the bio to sign up for BlockFi, and if you do, BlockFi will give you up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin for deposits over $100. A brand new car. If you buy a brand new car, it'll lose on average between 9 to 11% of its value the moment you drive it off the car lot. So by buying a brand new car, you're throwing away about 10% of the money you spend on it before you even go anywhere in it. And after a year, it'll likely be worth around 20% less than you paid for it. Now, the thing is, most people, they can't even afford a brand new car to buy with cash, so they're gonna take debt out in order to purchase the car, meaning you're already gonna be buying it for so much more than it's officially worth worth because of the interest rates and all the other payments that you have to make. Now, myself, I'm 32, multi-millionaire for a few years now, and I recently bought my very first ever car. It's the cutest Jimny in the world. It has the license Alien, which I just adore, but I bought it with 36,000 kilometers on it because there's no way you're gonna get me to buy a brand new car. Like, I'm not losing that initial value. I'd rather put it into something much more worthwhile that's gonna grow and increase my net worth rather than just the stupid mistake of driving off a lot and losing that much value in your car. So if you are one of those people that wants to buy brand new, why don't you just look for something that has low kilometers, that is essentially brand new, but you just don't buy something that depreciates that much in such a short period of time. Excess things. I am in a position where I could absolutely have that giant wardrobe and, you know, endless shoes and endless bags, because a lot of people associate being rich with having a lot of things. And for me, it's just not a thing. If it's for you and it makes you excited, that's awesome. But it has to be from a place of love and appreciation rather than just hoarding things, because the mindset of a millionaire, where we get excited is by the actual act of figuring out the different puzzle pieces of the financial world and mastering that. It is not about acquiring wealth to buy things. I think that comes very, very secondary. And for me, I love to eat really, really well. So that is a priority. So I do splurge in these areas. Freedom for me is very, very high on the list. So I have, you know, the access and ability to rent this van for 43 days because I felt like it, to jump to another country because I felt like it. Like, these are my vices. For me, it's not buying material things. One, it's not good for the environment. Two, I think a lot of us are buying, like, finally realizing this was a lie that we were told, that the more you have, the more successful you might be. I think we're just getting a little bit bored of it, because too much stuff, it 1,000% clogs your mind. And I come from a background of being a minimalist, and I still have aspects of that in me. And I know having too many things just doesn't allow me to think properly, because I'm always wondering where that thing is, or where did I hide it? I can't find it. So having limited things just allows for brain space for me personally. As I've said on this channel before though, freedom is completely individual. And this is the thing. If for you, freedom is buying all of those beautiful cars, awesome. If it means freedom of movement, like for myself, awesome. If it means that giant wardrobe, awesome. You are just unlocking a world where you have the choice to decide what your dream life looks like. And so knuckling down and learning about this financial world, which is oftentimes kept taboo, learning how to increase your independent income, learning how to save and invest, making those short-term sacrifices in order to build your secure future, not pretending like you're rich right now, but actually knuckling down and working out how this financial world works. It means that those choices become available to you. So I'm excited for you and your journey. Congratulations for being interested in watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We would love to have you here as part of this community, which is awesome and growing, and we love it. Of course, there is that epic newsletter that you're going to get immense value from, so check it out, link in the bio. And also, if you want to find out more about our private membership of more than 2,500 people, 3,000 maybe, all people very dedicated to learning the art of freedom and finances, you can get 20% off now using the code YouTube at checkout. And I will see you in the next one.